Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be on self-feeding skills. Shout out to Katie for the recommendation and kudos to me for being able to actually film it in a reasonable time from when you guys request it. I am not really taking requests, but I do look at all your comments and suggestions to see what the trends are and what I could provide you guys in a timely manner. So I hope this is helpful. So let's start off over here at 2 to 4 months. I drew two little hands up in the air because hands start to come up towards the bottle or the breast between 2 to 4 months. It doesn't mean that both hands are going to be going up. Bilateral coordination is not quite there yet, but I put 2 to 4 and two hands together. So I like to think, oh, you have two hands, so you need at least 2 months to start bringing your two hands up towards the bottle or the breast. And that might be a nice and easy way to remember it. At 6 to 9 months, a lot more happens since kids are getting a little older. So the first one is that kids start to hold their cup with both hands and they're able to sip with a little bit of assistance. So I drew two hands holding a cup, and what I did was I turned the cup into a clock. So imagine the cup to be a clock, and you can see that I shaded in the area between 6 to 9 p.m. So 6 to 9 months is when children are able to hold a cup with both hands. Kids all start, ooh, I don't know what that word was. Kids also start to mouth large crackers. And when I was thinking about saltine crackers, I actually think they have 9 holes in them. So I thought that would be a great way to visualize and remember that, 6 to 9 months, there's 9 holes. So that's around the age range where kids are starting to put big crackers in their mouth. They might not be quite chewing on it, but they're kind of sucking on it. And I think that this is really helpful. Teething starts between 4 to 6 months, so it's right in that age range. And this is when kids want to put everything in their mouth because it feels better and they're exploring. So you'll see a lot of those behaviors during the 6 to 9 month window. I drew a spoon here and it's being tapped. And so kids will play with spoons at this age. They'll bang them. They'll mouth both ends of them as well. 9 to 13 months, or equivalent to just at that year mark for 12 months, you want to remember at 9 months is the magic number when the pincer grasp develops. So I drew a little pincer grasp with the number 9 in it, and 9 months pincer grasp would equal finger feeding because you're able to hold little pieces of food. So finger feeding happens between 9 to 13 months, and you're going to start off with soft or fast melting foods. So a lot of my kids will start off with those little cereal puffs that melt right away, or certain soft cereals as well. Moving on to 12 to 15 months, so a little bit over a year. This is when independent sipping occurs with the cup. So they're not perfect at it, but they're able to sip a couple of times with independence. And you'll see I drew a little spoon being dipped. So kids will start to dip their spoon in the food and then aim it for their mouth, but their coordination isn't quite finessed yet, so it's going to be very messy and there'll be a lot of spillage. So I wrote dip here. I turned the I into a 1 to indicate that at 1, kids are dipping the spoon. Between 15 to 18 months is when kids start to use a straw, which is something that one of my kids just mastered, so that was really exciting, and she was right at that 18-month range, so this is perfect. So I think I like to look at the numbers sometimes as years if they apply, because sometimes when I look at months and they're already over the 1 year mark, it kind of throws me, so I like to look at it this way too. So I put 1.5 years for straw here, and kids are also scooping with the spoon at this age. I drew a little picture here, and it's going to be funny because it's somewhat of an innuendo, but you have to think of it as kids will learn how to use a spoon before they learn how to use a fork. A fork is mechanically harder to use because there is the poking piece involved, but a silly way to remember it is that you spoon before you fork. If that works for you, then cool. So at 1 to 1.5 years is when you're looking at spoon use, and 2 to 3 years is when you're looking at fork use. And we're just about to get to that over here. So at 2 to 3 years, kids are going to be independently drinking from the cup, at this point with no problems. And kids are also able to stab with a fork. And I like to look at the fork as it usually has like those 3 prongs on it. So then 2 to 3 years is when kids are going to get comfortable with the fork. 3 years. And at this point, the spoon, kids are independent at it. And I kind of just generalize the 3 to 5 year mark as that's when kids become independent with feeding overall. So, like I said, this was really quick and straightforward. I hope this was helpful. Don't overthink it. I just like to remember that the spoon comes before the fork, spoon 1 to 1.5, and fork 2 to 3 years. Pincer grasp for self-feeding starts from 9 months to 13 months. Dipping a spoon is around 12 to 15 months. Those are really the main things. So use process of elimination to kind of figure that out. And this should be helpful in understanding the development of the overall feeding progression. I hope you guys have a great day. And if you catch this in the morning, have a good rest of the day because it's still early. And I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching and take care.